5 News at 10 starts now.
It seems insane. I mean, it's ridiculous, insane, it's stupid.
A teen's parents are angry after she's suspended for wearing a gay pride t-shirt to school, while the district says she was really kicked out of class. Good evening and welcome to your 5 News at 10. I'm Ashley Ketz. Darren Bob has the evening off. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with breaking news out of Washington County, where police believe a missing woman was murdered. Kelly Lockhart was reported missing by a family member in April of 2008. Right now, police are searching for her body and car in Beaver Lake, just off Saddle Shop Lane in Springdale. That's where we find 5 News reporter Robert Boyd. He joins us live with the latest. Robert.
Well, I'm standing on Saddle Shop Lane right next to Beaver Lake, and as we speak, right here behind this police tape and this trees, both dive teams from Washington and Benton County are on Beaver Lake searching the waters. Earlier tonight, they found a car which is still submerged in the water, and they believe it could belong to a missing Springdale woman. Her name is Kelly Denise Lockhart. She is 49 years old, and she was reported missing by her family back in April of 2008. Now, over the last few months, investigators have received enough information to change this case from a missing person case to a homicide, and in fact, they have identified 2 suspects, one man and one woman, who they believe committed the murder. Now, right now, we haven't had a chance to talk to authorities because they're all behind the police tape. We haven't been able to get back there. But we can tell you these 2 suspects are still at large. They're on the loose, but we do not have any names at this point. Now, police, we have to assume, were tipped off some point today that both Lockhart and her car were dumped right here in this area of Beaver Lake, because that's where they've been searching. And once again, they did find the car. It is still submerged, and they're working on bringing that car up. Now, we're not sure where the body is at this point, if at all, in Beaver Lake, but we did talk to one police officer off camera, and he said it's probably safe to assume that that body is inside the car. Now, one other interesting twist to this case, Lockhart actually appeared on the Washington County Most Wanted list for a robbery back in February 2008 and a failure to appear in court. Once again, as we get more details revolving this case, we'll bring them to you tomorrow morning. Live in Springdale, Robert Boyd, 5 News.
All right, thank you, Robert. Anyone with information is asked to call Northwest Arkansas Crime Stoppers at 790-TIPS. And of course, we're going to continue to follow this breaking news. If in fact a body is found, or if they bring that car out of the water, we will bring it to you as it becomes available on 5 News this morning, and of course on our website, where the news is always on, 5newsonline.com. And covering the courts tonight, the trial for a former husband and wife accused in a 14-year-old Fayetteville killing has been rescheduled for next year. Rita Flowers and Raymond Douglas pleaded not guilty to strangling Goldie Thornsberry, Flowers' mother. The trial, set to begin last month in Washington County, was postponed after a delay in state crime lab reports. Thornberry was last seen in Fayetteville in January of 1996. Her remains were found in July of 2000 in a water well in Little Rock. The trial is now scheduled for February 7th. A Muldrow convicted murderer was executed in Oklahoma tonight for shooting a fisherman along the Arkansas River in Sequoyah County. Donald Wackerly received a lethal injection at Oklahoma State Penitentiary. This was at 6 o'clock this evening. 51-year-old Pon Seyakumani was fishing when investigators say Wackerly robbed and murdered him with a .22 caliber rifle in 1996. As the execution began, Wackerly reportedly winked at a relative, acknowledged his attorney. Wackerly recently converted to Buddhism and was humming a chant with 2 monks before his death. And now to a developing story in the River Valley, where Fort Smith police are searching for the man they believe is responsible for a drive-by shooting at a local park. They need your help finding this man, 26-year-old Roger Keo Prasuth. 5 News reporter Mallory Cook joins us live in Sebastian County, where the shots were fired. Mallory, how are neighbors reacting tonight?
Well, Ashley, a lot of them are telling me they're scared, and this incident just happened back in late September. They say the suspect drove by right here in Spradling Park and shot an 18-year-old in the foot. This was the scene at Spradling Park back on September 24th. Fort Smith police believe this man, 26-year-old Roger Keo Prasuth, shot 18-year-old Jennifer Diaz in the foot.
My son lives with me. He lives in the back bedroom, and he come through and said, "Mom, did you hear that shooting?" I said, "I was asleep."
Officers believe Diaz and several others were at the park that night when a dark, older model Chevy Blazer drove by several times, then started shooting.
It makes me nervous, really nervous, and scared. I'm not going to lie, it does make me scared.
Some neighbors consider the area surrounding Spradling Park dangerous.
Oh, and then there's like a lot of graffiti, you know, on everywhere.
Amanda Paxton lives nearby and visits the park about 3 times a week, but wants to move out of the neighborhood.
Makes me think, you know, what if something like that were going to happen today, you know, or this evening, you know, why I'm out here with my brother and my mom.
Some in the area say they might not go back to the park and plan to stay more vigilant. When we knocked on this door to ask for an interview, the woman inside admits she almost didn't answer.
I was kind of scared. I looked through the peephole.
Fort Smith police believe this shooting is gang-related and say if you see the suspect, he should be considered armed and dangerous. Reporting live in Fort Smith, Mallory Cook, 5 News.
All right, thank you, Mallory. Now, if you can help crack this case, call River Valley Crime Stoppers. Remember, you can remain anonymous and could be eligible for a cash reward. Our area has seen warm afternoons and cool nights with plenty of sunshine. How long is this pattern going to continue? Chief Meteorologist Garrett Lewis joins us in the Storm Center. And Garrett, this is a pretty good pattern to be in.
It's awesome. We've been stuck in it now for about 2 or 3 weeks. Of course, it would be nice to get some widespread rainfall. It's been so dry here lately. The pattern will break. It doesn't look like this weekend, but possibly next week. This is a look at this morning. Julie sent this eye pic into us. A little bit of patchy fog out there with clear skies and a little bit of moisture and warmth down towards the surface. Satellite radar looking pretty clear. We've got high pressure moving in. Led to some north winds, but as the high moves east, we'll get southwesterly winds, and that should work to warm us back up over the next couple of days. Chilly now, though, 59 in Fayetteville, 58 degrees in Fort Smith. We'll start the day off at a cool start with morning temperatures around 40 and afternoon temperatures around 76, close to about 82 in Fort Smith. Looks like a nice weekend coming up for the War Eagle Craft Festival. Temperatures expected to be in the upper 70s and low 80s. There are some rain chances, though. We'll talk about that coming up in your complete forecast.
Hey, thanks, Garrett. Well, Springdale police are investigating a stabbing after 2 victims were found in 2 different locations. Police responded to the Station Apartments in Springdale where they found 1 victim. Fayetteville police were called to a hospital after another victim went there for medical treatment. After questioning, police say the 2 stabbings are related, and they believe that the stabbings happened in downtown Springdale around midnight last night. No arrests have been made at this time. In Oklahoma tonight, 1 person is dead and 5 wounded, including children, after a church argument leads to a shooting. Police say just before 9 last night, a dispute broke out between 2 groups outside the Word of God Church in Oklahoma City. As people were walking away, police say a man pulled a gun and opened fire, killing 31-year-old Darnell Marzette, injuring a 12-year-old girl, 3 teenage girls, and a woman. Officers say James Watts was arrested on murder and assault charges. Also in Oklahoma, state leaders are looking to raise taxes on beer and alcohol. Health Commissioner Terry Klein and Mental Health Commissioner Terry White say they can't afford budget cuts anymore, and they are estimating an $800 million shortfall next year. The money raised by the tax would help pay for treatment to keep nonviolent convicts out of prison. State agency budgets have been cut in the past 2 years because of budget shortfalls due to the recession. A Fort Smith teenager continues to serve a 3-day suspension after her parents say she wore a T-shirt openly supporting homosexuality. 100% gay pride, proud to be a lesbian, and support homosexual love. A 15-year-old sported a T-shirt with those phrases Tuesday at Ramsey Junior High School. According to the parents, administrators asked the girl to change the shirt, but she refused. District leaders say students have the right to express themselves through clothing, but if it disrupts school, it's not allowed.
There's just a line between expressing yourself and doing so in such a manner that becomes disruptive in the school.
It seems insane. I mean, it's ridiculous, insane, it's stupid.
And according to the district, students who receive a suspension aren't allowed to make up that work. More than 12 employees at Northwest Arkansas Community College are being asked by the state to return any pay increases they may have received over the past few months. The state says the college never had the right to give out the money. The college says they plan to protect their employees. 5 News reporter Robert Boyd has more from Benton County.
Our concern is just, getting it right, fixing it, while at the same time taking care of our employees and taking care of our students.
According to the Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration, Northwest Arkansas Community College has violated state policy. In May, the state sent out a memorandum to all state agencies telling them to freeze all employees' salaries beginning in July. The state said since then, the college gave unauthorized pay raises to 17 employees, equaling more than $32,000.
What we should have done is we should have picked up the phone and called our colleagues at the state and said, we think this is okay, but can you confirm that for us?
NWAC said they weren't giving raises, simply paying employees extra compensation for doing additional work due to a short staff.
These employees were willing to do it, and they did it, and there's obviously a change of scope, and so, we provided that additional pay.
Northwest Arkansas Community College says one thing is for sure, their employees have done nothing wrong, and they shouldn't have to give back the money.
The fault lies is with the institution, and so we're asking, is it possible to allow us, through private funds, to help recover those funds and not punish our employees who've done nothing wrong, but do a great job and show their commitment.
NWAC is now waiting to hear back from the state. They've also sent them additional paperwork, which they hope proves their case for the pay increases.
I still believe, because of the discussions we're having and the additional documentation we're providing, there's a chance that a lot of those that are still listed within those 17 might obviously be taken off the table.
In Rogers, Robert Boyd, 5 News.
The college said they expect to have a decision from the state by the end of the month. And you've got to wonder if this guy passed his driver's test after he slams his car through a DMV. More of this intense video straight ahead.
And a little bit of a change in the pattern coming up next week, but looks like the sunny weather is going to roll on for just a few more days. So I'll have a look at your forecast when it comes to a close and the next cool spell coming up after the break.
You're watching 5 News with Ashley Kentz and weather with Chief Meteorologist Garrett Lewis. It's the area's most watched local news. 5 News.
Ashley, waking up with 5 News, always a fun day, especially on Fridays, right?
And we're going to show you something going on in New York City. It's a bird, it's a plane. Well, actually, nobody really knows. It's a mysterious shiny object appearing over Manhattan. We'll tell you more